Welcome to another combine. It's great to be back here in Indianapolis. This is my 31st combine. Started coming here in 1994 when I was 11 years old. So it's really cool to see how this thing has developed and grown in a lot of ways. It's been really cool and rewarding so far working with Coach Rabel. He has a lot of great ideas, a vision for the team. An effort that we're all working together. He's met with the scouts, he's met with me, he's met with everybody, and just kind of, it's all authentic and genuine, and it's really good to see just how he's developed and how we're all going to develop this thing together moving forward. That being said, last season, ultimately the roster was on me. We were 4-13. Just didn't get enough done. Certainly the free agency class didn't live up to our expectations. The draft class, it's too soon to tell, but we were expecting a bigger impact from some of those guys, and we're still hopeful that they'll get to that point. We're excited about Drake May. We're excited about working with Coach Rabel, and everything that we're doing is to improve this football team and getting to where we need to go. The fans understanding their frustrations. I share those frustrations. It's been difficult. Every hit on Jacoby or Drake during the season, I felt responsible for that. Just ultimately, we didn't get enough done up front. The game is always won on the lines, offensive line, defensive line, not just because of the Super Bowl. It's always been that way. And, ultimately, just didn't do enough to improve the roster to get it to where we need it to be. So that being said, again, just really excited about Coach Rabel and the direction and vision that he's provided and working together with these guys and getting this thing going. Yeah, I mean, it's an advantageous position. I'd say there's maybe less clarity this year about what's going to happen in front of us. But there's some good players available, and we're open to anything. We're open to moving down. We're open to moving up. We're open to sitting there and picking. Just whatever the case may be in terms of making the team better. Absolutely, yeah. I think it's definitely advantageous to try to build that roster out and get as much as we can, whether that's middle class of the roster, upper class. There's only so many elite free agents, and there's probably 27 teams looking at those guys. Certainly, we feel like we're a more attractive destination this year than we were last year, and we're excited to fill the roster out and get the depth and get to where we need to be so we can use that pick on the best player available.
And who had the final say? You said it's a collaborative effort, but at the end it's me. What's the scenario this year? Is it still that way?
Yeah, it's similar. I would just say, listening to Coach Rabel, there's not a lot of GMs or people in my position in this business that are going to force players on coaching staff. Certainly the best decisions are made together. And, going to continue to work with Mike and Ryan and Stretch and the scouting staff, Richard Miller, everybody to make those decisions the best we can for the team.
Eliot, how much of your recruiting pitch is going to revolve around Drake May?
Offensively quite a bit, but defensively some as well. Drake showed tremendous improvement throughout the season. There's still, plenty of room to grow, but, having that guy in place is paramount to our success. And we're really excited about the future that he can bring to our organization.
Look at Travis Hunter, and how much can he potentially play on both sides of the ball in the NFL?
Yeah, I mean, Travis Hunter's a tremendous prospect. As a number of these guys are. He's obviously been very unique, won the Heisman Trophy playing both ways. He's really unique and instinctive at both positions. So I think there's a scenario where he's probably going to major in one and minor in the other. But I think there's a scenario where he could play both ways.
How the college football landscape has changed so much and evolved, if maybe say evolved, with nil money, with transfer portals, with guys playing longer, with more people you can talk to evaluate these guys. Do you see a distinct group of guys that might be more NFL ready because they're more seasoned?
Yeah, I think every case can be different. Certainly the information that we can get, now instead of getting information from one school and one pro liaison, a lot of these guys have transferred 2-3 times, so we're getting information from 3 different places from their high school coaches, 3 different strength coaches. So, just the information flow is better, and we feel more convicted in the information that we receive.
You're not going to be in you're not going to want to force any players on Mike or the coaching staff. Just to clarify, do you have final say on the 53-man roster?
Ultimately, it's my final say, but again, Mike said it yesterday. Mike wouldn't have taken this job, and this is something we talked about in the interview process. Mike wouldn't have taken this job if we weren't comfortable with each other. There's not going to be Mike's guys or Eliot's guys. They're going to be Patriot guys, and we're excited to share the vision, to work together to improve the roster.
On the offensive line, where do you view Michael and Wenner's ideal fit?
I think ideally Mike is a guard, but again, some of those decisions haven't been, made yet. Obviously, Mike has played tackle for Josh. Doug Marone, I don't believe has even met him yet. So, we're going to get to the point where we'll make the best decision for the team.
Do you think you need clarity on his position as you address the line?
I think that would be, certainly helpful to Mike and helpful to all of us as we, develop a strategy moving forward.
Position that in free agency, as you described it last year, inform how you operate in free agency this year?
I think maybe just being more thorough. Just some of the information that we got on some of the players, wasn't as thorough as it needed to be. So I think just moving forward, we have a tremendous opportunity with this coaching staff. Like, a lot of these guys have been other places. They're familiar with these guys, and just having that familiarity with players is going to be an advantage for us moving forward.
What do you think of the last year?
We saw how, expensive that market was in free agency last year. Why are teams investing so much in that position?
Yeah, I just think the ability to wreck a game. I mean, these guys that are elite up front, pushing the middle of the pocket, making the quarterback move, get off the spot. Like, there's a premium on those guys, and that's why you see some of these guys, getting paid and being drafted earlier, and because of the impact they can have on all 3 downs.
Two for you.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to be frivolous. We're going to do what we think is best, and we're going to again, we have to do what's necessary. So last year we didn't do enough of what was necessary. This year we have to do what's necessary to improve the team.
We're weaponizing the offense. Can you reflect back? What went wrong with that process, and how aggressive do you need to be to help Drake May this time around?
Yeah, I mean, I think we took some swings, and again, taking swings ultimately isn't good enough. We went 4-13. We have to have results, and so we took some swings at some of those guys and came up short, and that's not an excuse. That's just what happened. So we need to continue to improve the roster, whether they're weapons, whether it's the line, whether it's the defense, just in all phases.
Cap space this offseason. Do you expect to spend up to or close to up to the cap spot?
I think, again, I just think we're going to do what we have to do. I think it's probably not responsible to spend the whole thing, but again, that's not to say we won't do it if there's a player out there that or obviously players out there that can fill a role for us.
Position or two for you in this draft class that maybe stands out above the rest?
I think it's really deep on the defensive line. I think it's really, really deep at running back. Tight end is a good year. So, those are some of the positions that stand out.
Last season on the defensive spine, what's your outlook on that part of the defense moving forward?
Yeah, again, not an excuse, but unfortunately losing Barmore, losing Bentley, Duggar and Peppers had their, issues, with injuries and things during the season. So, we're hopeful those guys are going to come back for us and help stabilize that area. But again, we need to support them and develop the depth on the roster to be able to compete at a higher level.
How satisfied were you with his year 1 development, and what are you looking for him to take that next step this offseason?
Yeah, first of all, the person with Drake is phenomenal. He's a tremendous worker. He's a tremendous teammate. All of that's really genuine, and you can see the work and effort he put in and how his teammates gravitate to him. And those are all things that we're really looking forward to. Again, we won 4 games. Drake obviously did some good things. He made a lot of mistakes. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that. And so as we move forward, it's just it's positive, but it's not where we need it to be.
I know it's a long time before you got to suit up in pads, but obviously last year to stop and start, and then to have him go with the recurring symptoms. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we don't know for sure yet. The one thing we know, he's working out in Tampa right now, and that's going really well from the reports we've gotten. He's doing everything in his power. He wants to play football, and that's one of the things I've always admired about Christian is how passionate he is. He doesn't want to let anyone down, and he's passionate about getting back on the field.
Talk about doing.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think it's about doing what's necessary. We need to improve the roster. It's not where we need it to be. I think everyone's aware of that. And, whether that means aggression or having a plan or being able to pivot off, this is number one, this is number two, this is number three, like just being able to pivot when something doesn't go as expected.
You talk about doing what's necessary.
How's it been working with him? And does he have any previous understanding of the kind of grading system that you guys have in place?
Yeah, so I've known Ryan for like 20 years. So he came up in Carolina, I came up in Green Bay, and for whatever reason, a lot of the Packer scouts and the Panther scouts kind of shared some of the same views. And I don't know if the grading scale was exactly the same, but it's something that he's worked in before. And again, I've always appreciated Ryan because he has a distinct opinion. Like, he's not going to waffle on anything. Like, this is what it is, and that's been really rewarding to work with him so far. It's been good.
Talk about doing what's necessary, and you pursue players at premium positions in free agency and the draft positions that everybody else in the league, offensive and defensive line. How do you ensure you will do what's necessary given all of that competition?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about pivoting. If you don't get plan one, then you go for plan two, and if you don't get plan two, you go for plan three. And I just think it's about keeping your options open, whether it's free agency, trade, draft. Again, we didn't talk about the offensive line as a strong position in the draft, but I think as you get into the middle rounds, there's some strength there. So it's just about keeping your options open, being intentional about what you want to do.
Expected more of an impact out of those guys.
I'm sorry, say that again.
You said you expected more of an impact out of the draft class last year. What do you have to do now to get that class back on track this year?
Yeah, I mean, some of those guys, every rookie develops differently. Caden was progressing and he got hurt. Layden probably played a little bit more than we had expected when we drafted him. And obviously, the receivers didn't have the production that we had hoped for. So, when you do watch practice and you do talk to these guys, they're the right kind of people. They work hard. They are talented. And sometimes, for whatever reason, rookies just aren't ready to go. And we're, again, it's not a guarantee, but we're hopeful that they'll continue working and get to be productive players for our team.
The NFLPA report card came out earlier today. Patriots finished 31st of 32 teams.
Yeah, you know what? I heard that came out right before I got up here. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
Eliot, how do you
Yeah, I think like I don't hate to use this analogy, but in the Dark Knight when it's the hero you need isn't the hero that you have. Like, he was a young player that came in and he's mature, he's smart. I think organizationally we maybe put too much on his plate early, and I think that really kind of stunted his growth a little bit. And he's aware of that, and we've talked about it. And he's going to continue to work hard and rehab and do the things that are necessary to improve. Every day. Yeah. Yeah, no, he stays on top. He watches the red zone every week. I send him the transactions every day. He's got an iPad, so he can watch our games when he so desires. I don't know how many he watched last year, but yeah, and I do lean on him for advice. It's more about it's nothing specific to players or strategy. It's more just kind of big picture, leadership, things of that nature.
How do you value the wide receiver position when you look at quarterbacks that have succeeded in the past, being top 10 picks like Joe Burrow, they draft Jamar Chase, Caleb Williams, they draft Roma Denze. How do you value the receiver position pre-free agency going into the rookie draft and
this
understanding
draft
that?
specifically or just overall? I think it's okay. Again, I think this draft is probably a little meatier in the middle than it is, at the top in a lot of ways. I think the receiver position is probably reflective of that as well. So, there are some players up there that I think, not only up there, but throughout the rounds that can help us. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, thank you. Thank you.